everybody, and welcome to CasaLoud Chats, a podcast dedicated to Nickelodeon's The Casagrandes and the Loud House universe. And I'm your host, Sunny, and welcome to episode 36 of CasaLoud Chats. And today we have another Casa-Minisode. Actually, it's going to be a news alert. We're doing a CasaLoud news alert. I'm changing the Casa-Minisode name to news alert because, well, everybody has told me how your minisodes aren't usually mini. They usually go longer than they need to, so you should actually change to something else. So I'll just call it News Alert, because today we're going to be talking about all the latest news from the Loud House and the Casagrandes that came out during the week, because this week we do have brand new episodes of the Casagrandes, which is the season 2 premiere, and the Ghosted special from the Loud House. But there was a lot of news that came out while I was taking a break from the shows, because I usually don't record an episode until we get new episodes or new content for the news to talk about today. So we're just going to be talking about the various news items for this week. And of course, this week there will be brand new episodes of the 2 shows coming out this week, which is very exciting as well. So with that being said, let's get into some Casa News! Alright, so we had a lot of news that came out during these weeks of talking about the brand new episodes of The Loud House and the Casagrandes. So I talked about the Ghosted special on my last episode. When we found out about it, we all thought it was just going to be a Lori-focused episode. But no, we now have an updated description for the Ghosted special, which is Lori gets help from Lincoln and Clyde to banish a ghost that's haunting her, but Fairway's golf team starts struggling, so she has to bring it back. So we first heard about this with just Lori. We just heard that Lori was going to be the one that was getting rid of this ghost, and I had said that it was not going to make any sense that Lori was just going to be the only person focused in this episode about ghosts. Then once I heard that Lincoln and Clyde were going to be involved in this episode, I was like, that makes sense. I had a feeling that Lincoln and Clyde were going to appear in this episode just from the synopsis, but I didn't want to believe it. So now we are getting a full-on special that's just going to be Lori and Clink and McCloud, which, people don't really care for the Clink and McCloud episodes, and we had a Halloween-focused episode a long time ago, a trick that was a Clink and McCloud episode. But this is going to have Lori in it, and it's going to be at Fairway, which is going to be very, very interesting. Now, if I want to get to, let's hope I have it here. Yes, so we got 2 promos that were dedicated to talking about the new Halloween episodes that are coming out for Nickelodeon. And there was a little promo that first came out for Nickelodeon that was, I guess they're calling it the Blinded by the Lights promo, or the Happy Hallo-Scream promo, because they use a parody of Blinding Lights in the promo. So we have a bunch of little clips here from different shows, and we do have some bits of little snippets of the Loud House and the Casagrandes in this promo. They showed a little bit from Ghosted, where Lincoln and Clyde are helping Lori, run away, like they're running and they're helping Lori capture this ghost, what I think is really cool, because you see them using their little blasters, and they have their ghost hunting outfits that are from ARG, which is great because they're bringing back the whole idea of Lincoln and Clyde, ghost hunting. Because, with Family Bonding, for example, we just got that episode where Lincoln is he's becoming a spy. He's really interested in spy stuff now. So it's cool that they're still recognizing that Lincoln and Clyde are still interested in ghost hunting, even if it's not, their main thing. Like I said, with, Ace Savvy is Lincoln's main thing. But every season, he gains a new interest. Ghost hunting is still one of his main interests, which I find interesting because a lot of people had said that, with ARG, You For Real, that episode, where, Lincoln had, thought that, Lincoln and Clyde believed in ghosts, but then when Lincoln found out the TV show wasn't real, he knew that ghosts weren't real. But again, that's that episode with a TV show. This is a real ghost they're hunting. Well, we don't know if it's a real ghost. I mean, it probably is, we don't know anything else about it, but it's so cool that there's going to be an entire episode focused on Lincoln and Clyde helping Lori, And some people were saying, how is Clyde going to react around Lori, because he used to have a crush on her. But I'm telling you guys this, Clyde has gotten over his crush on Lori since season 3. I don't know where you guys are still stuck in like the last like earlier seasons of season 1 and 2, but Clyde has been fine around Lori these past couple of seasons. It'll be chill, you know. He's over her, you know. He had a crush on another girl in Brave the Last Dance, and of course Chloe, you know, hopefully she comes back. But yeah, that whole thing, that's done. Clyde's not having a crush on Lori anymore. That gag was just, it's done, you know. But it is kind of odd to know that Lincoln and Clyde are gonna be at Fairway with Lori. Because when I first saw this promo, I was like, okay, how are they going to get there? You know, like, how are these two kids gonna end up at Fairway with their older sister? And I had predicted, well, maybe the family is going to Fairway for a visit, you know, just to see Lori again. But then we got an official promo for the Loud House and the Casagrandes. But before I get to that, we actually did get some sneak peeks of the Casagrande episodes that are coming out for season 2, which are Fails of the Crypt and the what is it? The chicken episode, Bad Cluck. I'm sorry. Oh my god, I completely forgot about that. Yeah, we had one scene of the haunted chicken with Ronnie Ann, where the chicken was scaring Ronnie Ann and her family. And then there was a scene where Rosa, Hector, and Vito were together in a graveyard, which is very interesting to see that Vito was kind of hanging out with Hector and Rosa. Because, you know, Vito and Hector had this kind of, like, friendship going on in, like, relative chaos, but we've never really seen them interact that much. I mean, Vito comes around the Casagrande building from time to time, but it doesn't seem like they have episodes about that. We had the Vito episode, of course, but it doesn't seem like we see them, like, hanging out and stuff. So it's interesting to see the three of them, like, in the graveyard together getting scared. But yes, we did get an official promo for the Loud House Ghost Special and the Casagrandes premiere. So I'll break down this promo we got. We had a bunch of scenes here that I'm going to try to break down, but I'm playing the promo in the background so I can remember what stuff happens in it. So we had some stuff from the Ghost Special where we do see how Lincoln and Clyde do get the fairway. Lynn Sr. drops them off, which is so odd to me, you know? Because, like, remember in school that, like, Lynn Sr. was just cool with dropping off Lincoln at a boat to go to Canada for school, you know, no questions asked, just like, okay, time to go to school in Canada, you know, and now it's like, okay, just imagine that conversation that Lincoln's gonna have with his dad, where it's like, hey dad, Lori's being haunted by a ghost at her school, can you drop off me and Clyde 3 hours away from home to go to Fairway and help Lori? And Lindsay is just like, yeah, sure, why not? Like, no questions asked, just gonna drop off my kid and his best friend at a college 3 hours away from home, no questions asked, you know? Like, it did remind me of Horoscope, where, like, you know, Rita dropped off Lincoln at the Casagrandes by himself, but again, in that scenario, Rita was going to the city for a meeting, so it made sense that she dropped him off because he wanted to see Ronnie and because they happened to be in the city. Versus here, where it seems like, well, I don't know yet. We don't know the context of it yet. The Lynn Senior's just dropping off Lincoln and Clyde at Fairway with no questions asked. It's like, okay, I'll see you later. I mean, I'd be surprised if the whole family is there, but from that shot we saw of Lynn Sr. with Vanzilla, it seemed like he was the only one in the car. We would have seen everybody else, I guess, but it just seems so odd to me that Lynn Sr. would just be okay with Lincoln and Clyde going to visit Lori just to help her out with a ghost. Like, you know, you would think like a parent would kind of question that, but I guess because this is this is a kids show, there's no questions asked and stuff. And we see a bunch of really cool shots with, like, Lincoln and Clyde helping Lori at Fairway. You know, like, there's a shot where Lori has her golf club, and she's, like, going all, like, I don't know, like, Saw style, and, like, trying to hit the ghost with the golf club. Or, like, Lincoln and Clyde helping her in the library with the ghost, and the ghost is like, you know, the books are like floating around and stuff. So it's gonna be really cool. And before we get to the Casagrandes, they actually did show two two screenshots from Ghosted. They really want to hype up the special because, of course, it is a special. So we're probably going to get like a ton of other stuff from Ghosted. Probably the entire episode will be leaked out for us in like promos and, stuff like that, because, how it is with these specials. But we did get two, screenshots of it where Wicked and Clyde are with Lori in the forest, in like a forest, like a dark forest. And Lori's wearing a dark black hoodie that has a ghost on it, which is pretty cool because, like, maybe that's their way of, like, making Lori an honorary ghost hunter with them. When they're, like, ghost hunting with her and she's like, I still want to help out, I don't want to be, like, left behind. I know you guys can do your thing, but can I please, like, help you and join you? Because Lincoln and Clyde are in, like, their black, like, suited outfits, like most Ghostbusters outfits, but they're black. So, like, it's cool that, like, Lori is, like, a part of it now, which I think is really neat. And then there's a shot of Lincoln and Clyde using the little blasty guns. I don't know what they're gonna call them. Like, Lindsay here says blasty toy, but they're using it to, like, trap the ghost, which is really cool. Like, this special, I think, is gonna be so much better than Tricked. Like, I like Tricked, but it's not one of my favorite specials. I think because Lincoln and Clyde's plot in that episode is, like, really weak. I think the only thing people like about Tricked is the song. I think that's really the only thing people remember from that. Other than, oh yeah, do you remember when those bullies were trying to beat up Lincoln and Clyde in that episode or something like that? I met somebody who said Tricked is their favorite special, but I think it's because of just the song. So, and, like, Lucy's part. But people are saying, how come we're getting a Halloween special with no Lucy? I mean, I don't know. I don't think Ghosted does a Halloween special. I think it's just gonna be like, like a horror special. They can play it from time to time on Nickelodeon, but it doesn't seem very Halloween-esque, like, same thing with the Casagrandes episodes. They don't seem like Halloween, but there's a shot with Rosa in the costume, so I think it is going to be kind of like Halloween. So, yeah, I'm so looking forward to Ghosted. I don't think I've been this excited for a special since, like last Thanksgiving. I mean, I'm always excited for the specials. I was excited for School of the Course being a 1-hour special, but because this episode is gonna give us Lincoln and Lori interaction, which I didn't think would ever happen again in the show after school, like, I thought, like, well, we're gonna see Lori pop up, from time to time, or make cameos, like, whenever she wants to come back, to the house and visit, but we're not gonna actually get an episode about Lori and Lincoln. But to know that this whole special is just gonna be about these three, like, again, I know I'm forgetting Clyde. Clyde is there, clicking with Cloud, I know, but Lori and Lincoln are my favorite sibling pairing, so to know that they're gonna have, like, a lot of interaction in this full-on special dedicated to these three is crazy to me. Like, I never thought this would happen after school, but it's so interesting. Like, I feel like I'm more excited for this special now than I am for the Casagrandes season 2 premiere, but we'll talk about that right now. So in the promo, we did get lots of sneak peeks from, I think, Fails of the Crypt. There's a lot of shots from that episode for sure. Like with, there's a shot where Ronnie and Laird and Sid are together, like, walking through the graveyard, and like Laird and Sid cling on to Ronnie, and which, a lot of us Sinani fans are like, Laird, no, out of the shots, we need that Sinani moment, you're ruining it, I'm just kidding, like, I forgot to talk about this when we talked about the Silver Party episode, and I'm just gonna go on to a rant for a second, but I don't like that Laird only exists as a character to be a punchy bag. Like, like in the Silver Party episode, A Blunder Party, he was really just used for, like, to get beaten up, and I just don't like that about his character, because it makes him feel like he doesn't have a character than just being a punchy bag. And I know others are like, well, he's supposed to be the Rusty of the group, but I don't think Rusty gets beaten up that much compared to Laird. I think he's just there to be beaten up, and I don't like that. So I hope in this episode, he gets more to do, and it seems like he's getting more to do than just being a punchy bag. And I think it's cool that Laird is part of the group now, but out of all the characters they made for the series, I don't know why they make Laird part of the friend group. Like, I wish Becky could have been that, like, last person. And I get it because they needed a redhead in their group, like Lincoln's friends, but again, out of all the people to be in Ronnie's friend group, I mean, they're all pretty cool, and Laird's kind of like this dork, nerd kind of character. I don't know why Ronnie would be friends with him, but, I guess, justice for Laird, I'm just saying. But yeah, there's a bunch of shots of Ronnie and her friends in their little tent because in the episode they're trying to like camp out for the night to see who will last long in the graveyard. So it's gonna be pretty cool because we're getting two like Halloween-esque episodes, but they're not really. And then we saw like maybe one or two shots from the Bad Cluck episode. There's a shot where Ronnie and her family are floating in the air. I guess the haunted chicken is like making them float up, and there's a shot where they're all scared. So that's probably for that episode too. Yeah, like again, I am more excited for the Ghosted episode just because it has my favorite characters in it. But again, we're getting season 2, like literally like but right before season 1 is over of the Casagrandes. And I'm gonna talk about that in a minute as we did get more updates for the episodes coming out, like the dates for them as well. But it is pretty interesting that they're just gonna air season 2 before season 1 is over. I know my friend Mitch told me they do that with SpongeBob, but they've never done that with Loud House. Loud House has always aired in order. I don't know why they're doing it with the Casagrandes, but I guess it's just because these episodes are Halloween type episodes, just like, horror type episodes that they can play over and over, during the week so kids can watch them during this time. I guess it's like, yeah, we'll just premiere them right now. It's like, well, I mean, what about that Bobby Cat episode? Isn't that pretty spooky for you? Yeah, no, I'm just joking. But yeah, after seeing those promos, I'm super hyped, and of course, we're gonna probably get a ton of other sneak peeks from these episodes. The title cards will probably come out tomorrow, which I'm recording today on Sunday, so that it'll be today. We'll probably get the title cards, because usually when the new episodes come out on Fridays, they've been posting the new title cards for the episodes literally on Mondays, both the Loud House and the Casagrandes. Because sometimes they'll have the Loud House post first, then the Casagrandes, but lately because of the new episodes on Fridays, they've been posting them on Mondays, both at the same time, like, or maybe not the same time, like, Loud House will go first, and then, like, an hour later, we'll have the Casagrande title card, so it's gonna be really cool seeing that, especially the Ghosted one. Like, I'm so excited for the Ghosted title card, like, I'm just so excited for that special. I hope it lives up to the hype, like, I don't want to have high expectations for the Ghosted special, because, again, it's Click and McCloud. I expect what I expect from Clink and McCloud, but again, Family Bonding was just a top tier episode, and Omid, if you're listening, I don't know what your problem is with Family Bonding, I swear, dude. Like, I was so angry at Omid at the Loud Casa Talks live stream they did, and he was like making all these nitpicks about Family Bonding, and I'm like, dude, like, this episode is top tier. I don't know what your problem is. I'm just kidding, Omid, I love you. But yeah, I don't know what to expect from Ghosted, but it looks like an amazing special already, and the Casagrande episodes look super promising, so I can't wait for these episodes. And again, like every episode that's come out recently, it is going to be Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, starting with the Ghosted special, of course, kicking off the Casagrande Season 2 premiere, as they did last year with Kings of the Con, and then the Season 1 premiere. And I think it's really cool that they're premiering Season 2 right around the anniversary of Season 1 of Casagrandes. That is really cool. So I'm really looking forward to all these episodes coming up on Friday. Alright, and before we get into more episodes that were announced, I want to say there is another section of new episodes coming out for the Loud House and the Casagrandes that are on the schedule. So this week we'll get the Ghosted special and the Season 2 premiere Casagrandes, but then next week we will get what are the last 2 Casagrande episodes that don't include Cursed. Cursed still doesn't have an air date, and I'm very concerned about that, because Curse is supposed to be coming out, and they're pushing it back, and I'm worried that some other, country will air Curse before us. But yeah, we don't have an air date for Cursed yet. We do have an air date for What's Love Got to Do With It, which is the Bobby Cat episode, and Dial M for Mustard, which will be paired with 2 Loud House episodes that are going to be Band Together and Blinded by Science. That's going to be on the 16th. So that's next week. So that's really good, because I didn't want them skipping another week. I don't get why they skipped another, a week. I mean, I guess it's because they needed to air that SpongeBob clip show, but, I don't get why they need to do that. But yes, we are finally getting those last 2 Casagrande episodes premiering next week, which will be very, very exciting, of course. I'm looking forward to both of those. Well, I mean, one more than the other. The Bobby Cat episode, yeah, that's gonna be a thing. But I am looking forward to the Ronnie and Friends episode with the mystery episode. But we do have the descriptions for the 2 brand new Loud House episodes that are going to be airing with those episodes, which are Band Together and Blinded by Science. Okay, you guys know what Blinded by Science is about, and I don't want to talk about it, but I have to because, you know, we have to talk about all the new episodes that are coming out, so let's start with that one to get out of the way. Blinded by Science. After searching for her next big scientific breakthrough, Lisa discovers Flip is a marvel of modern science. Everybody out there is just laughing at me like, oh no, it's a Flip episode, Sunny's gonna go into a rant. I am. Loud House. Come on! Do we need another Flip episode? We are getting one with the Christmas episode. I'm fine with that. Why, of all the characters that Lisa discovers and interested in science, is Flip? This could be literally anybody, okay? Mr. Grouse, I would love Mr. Grouse, you know, good sports. It sounds exactly like good sports. Mr. Grouse, totally okay with that. I mean, he's into technology, like he's an IT guy now, so why not? Flip. You really picked Flip. I don't know. Like, you know, this is going to be paired with the Bobby Cat episode. It's like that one where it's like, guys, really? Do we really need this? Did somebody pitch this episode and really wanted to have a Lisa and Flip episode? Like, who thought this was a good idea? I don't think it's a good idea, but of course, everybody's going to tell me the Loud House crew love Flip. I know! They love Flip. They can't get enough of Flip. Flip could get his entire own spin-off if he wanted to. I can't believe I say that, and then soon enough we'll get the Flip spin-off announced tomorrow, and I'll be talking about that on my show. I don't want to think about that. But anyway, you know, House Flip is a terrible episode. Some people have told me it's fine. I don't like it. I hate it. Worst episode of season 4, you know, because Flip just gets on my nerves, and I hate the fact that he's overused in the show. I really do. I'm gonna get tired of him showing up, I know, but it's just the way it has to be. You know, at this point, because, like, even when he showed up in all these other episodes of season 5, I was like, you know what? I don't care anymore. I know you're gonna show up. You don't give me a reason to hate you anymore. I just have to accept it. You know, I've accepted that Flip exists, and I get no other feeling out of the fact that he exists. I'm just like, well, he's there. Cool. You know, I ignore the fact that I don't want him on the show anymore as much as he wants to be on the show, but I guess it'll be okay. You know, I'll try to at least enjoy it, but I don't think I will. This episode will be airing first before the other episodes, so I'm like, good. Well, I get this episode done with. Done. Cool, I'm fine with that, you know? And then I remember the Bobby Cat episode existing too, so it's like, we're gonna get 2 duds on the same day. I mean, again, I want to be hopeful. I want to be hopeful and say maybe these episodes will be good, you know? I'm still predicting the Bobby Cat episode will be the best episode in the entire universe, but again, no high hopes, so, you know, why? But whatever, you know, it'll be fine. Then let's talk about an episode that I do want to talk about, which is Band Together. Luna has to decide between playing in a band with her friends or playing with professionals. This sounds so standard. This sounds so standard for a Luna episode, I'm not gonna lie. Like, it just sounds so standard for her. Her episodes are always the same, and that's the one thing I don't like about Luna, her episodes mainly, is because they don't do much of her character outside of just music. Most of her episodes are focused on this, like, deciding if she wants to play music or just have fun or something, you know? I feel like she learns the same lesson over and over again in her episodes. Her Loud Music was the same thing, you know? Like, I hope they put a twist on it and maybe Luna does decide to play with professionals, just maybe, you know, her friends support her in that way. But we all know how it's gonna go. Luna's gonna play with the professionals. It's gonna go horribly. She's gonna miss her friend. She's gonna leave, and then she's gonna be like, guys, I'm so sorry for leaving you. I missed you all. Let's just play together or something like that, you know? Pretty standard. I mean, I'm glad Luna's getting an episode. I love Luna. I really do. I love her character, but her episodes always seem to be the same thing. I think, you know, Perfect Gig was the best, and like, Perfect Gig and Racy Hearts are like the only episodes I can think of that really like give her different things to do than just related to music. But of course, she's the music one, so she has to be related to music. I just feel like we've seen this before, like house music or something, but I hope they put a nice twist on it. I mean, I'm looking forward to it, because I love Luna, and we'll definitely see her band and Sam. We'll see Sam, so we get some Selena in here, which is pretty good. Always love to see some Selena, of course. But yeah, it just sounds pretty standard, It's weird because, like, these episodes are, like, airing, this one, the Casagrandes one, seems so like, standard and generic, because, we get the Flip Lisa episode, which exists, apparently, and the Bobby Cat episode, which is happening, and then we get, a generic Luna episode about music, and then we get a Lincoln episode of the Casagrandes, just Ronnie and her friends, but, again, they could put nice twists on them, and I could be surprised. Because remember, family bonding really took away my expectations of how that could have been a standard Click Cloud episode, but they really went far and beyond that. So I'm hoping they really do step up with these. Because last week's were fine. It's like, again, the Lincoln and Friends one was pretty standard for Lincoln and Friend episodes, so let's just have hope for these episodes to be pretty good. Because I am looking forward to them. It might be torture to watch the football one. But, what can you do? It's going to be good. Alright, let's then jump over to comic news, which Ryan W. Mead actually posted this a week ago, talking about solidifications from Macmillan's Spring 2021 catalog on their official website for paper cuts, titles The Casagrandes 1 on sale May 4th, 2021, The Loud House Summer Special June 1st, 2021, and The Loud House 13th comic Lucy Rolls the Dice August 24th, 2021. And we actually got a bunch of descriptions for these three comics coming out, which is crazy because, again, they come out in 2021. We already know what these comics are going to be about, so that's pretty exciting. So let's first talk about the Casagrandes comic graphic novel that's coming out. They're getting their own graphic novel. I'm so happy for them. I'm so proud of my girl, going far and beyond what she could have been in her show. Of course, getting a season 3 and now her own graphic novel for her family. Very, very exciting. When Lincoln Loud's close friend, you gotta do that in quotation marks, close friend, Ronnie and her brother Bobby Santiago moved away from Royal Oaks. No, it's Royal Woods. They need to correct that typo there. Royal Woods to the big city. They had no idea that they were about to start an exciting new chapter in their lives while living in an apartment above their abuela's mercado. Together with their mom Maria, they are adapting from going to a family of 3 in Royal Woods to living with their whole extended family, headed by the kids' abuelas Hector and Rosa in the big city. Now the Casagrandes are starting their own popular animated series on Nickelodeon, collecting the Casagrandes' greatest comic stories from the hit Loud House graphic novel series, featuring stories from the creative team of the hit Nickelodeon shows The Loud House and the Casagrandes. So we know that this one is going to be a mixture of old stories and new stories, which I'm glad they told us that now, versus telling us at the last minute that there was going to be a whole graphic novel that just had stories that were just from before. Yeah, so this is just going to be like a compilation comic. There's not going to be many new stories, just a bunch of ones that are from other graphic novels in the past, and then maybe 1 or 2 new stories, which, that's fine. For their first graphic novel, it's fine to just do a little compilation of whatever they got in the past. That's cool. But I am looking forward to just owning it, just because I want that, that poster they have for the graphic novel to get the hardcover, because I love it. Looks really great. I do have that version in the Casagrandes mini comic they had for Comic-Con, so I do have that one. But it'll be really nice to have an official one that everybody can get. Then we have the Loud House Summer Special, which reads, Sun's out, fun's in. Join the Loud family, Lincoln and his sisters, Lori, Lenny, Luna, Lynn, Wan, Lucy, Lola, Lana, Lisa, and Lily, and all their friends as they hit the beach, chill out by the pool, or just look for a cold, icy treat to beat the heat. Also check in with Ronnie and Santiago, her brother Bobby Santiago, and their big Casagrande family for foolproof ways to handle scorching summers in the big city, collecting all new and past favorite stories from the Loud House and the Casagrandes creative team. teams. So again, we're going to get a few comics that were from other graphic novels, which again they're telling us this time. Thank you for telling us this time that it's going to be a mixture, but there are going to be brand new stories, which will be really cool. And again, they're going to include the Casagrandes in the Loud House comics and not just exclude them to their own thing. Because again, like their own graphic novel is just going to be a compilation comic. So it's nice they're still going to include them and see what new stories they can include with the Casagrandes, like they are in the next graphic novel coming out, which is the Witcher special. And then we have Lucy Rolls the Dice, which is when the power goes out, the Loud family tells tall tales to pass the time. When the lights go out at the Loud House during a storm, it is up to the kids to keep themselves entertained. Join Lincoln, Loud, and his sisters, Lily, Lisa, Lana, Lola, Lucy, Lynn, Lola, Luann, Luna, Lenny, and Lori. They put that in the backwards this time, in backwards order, as they tell tales to astonish OM Gosh, tales from the crypt or the creepy basement, tales of the city, family friends, I say in quotation marks, Bobby and Ronnie and City, that is, and finally bedtime tales, featuring all new stories for the Loud House creative team. So that will be brand new stories, which hopefully that will be, and they're not lying to us again. But yeah, that seems like it's gonna be just an extended version of A Darkest Story Night, where they're just like, the power goes out, so they're telling stories. So they're going to be telling stories about Tales from the Crypt or a Creepy Basement, Tales of the City, Family Friends, Bobby, Ronnie, and City, that is. Are they going to be telling stories about Bobby and Ronnie and? Are Lincoln and Lori going to tell stories about them? I'm interested in that. No, it's probably just going to be, like, unrelated. And finally, bedtime tales. Yeah, I am looking forward to that one, but it's called Lucy Rolls the Dice, and it doesn't seem like that's very fitting with the description we have here. But I guess there is going to be a story focused on Lucy and Lincoln playing D&D, because that's what the cover looks like, which is really cool. So it's probably going to be one of the stories they tell. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. That looks really cool. So yeah, it's really neat that they actually gave us all those descriptions for those comics that are all coming out next year, which are all very exciting, so I can't wait for those. And some more comic news. This week, October 6th, is when we're going to get the release of the Witcher special comic that's coming out. And again, I've seen things from the Witcher comic I've seen things from the Witcher special. I can't talk about them, so I will be able to talk about it once it's officially released, and I'll give a nice little review of the comic, per se. But they did release the titles of the comics that are going to be in here, so I'll read them to you, which are Hung with Care, Coco Loco, Puppet Punishment, Sledding the Gar, I, Lily, Best in Snow, Geo's New Home, Barnyard Blizzard, A Glittering Recipe, Freeze Fray, Mitten Mayhem, Meow Mally Catmas, Operation Xmas, Unlikely Superheroes, and a preview of Who's the Loudest. Which again, we don't know anything about Who's the Loudest. Hopefully we get some information on Who's the Loudest coming out soon, because I know it's supposed to be Loud House and the Casagrandes again, but it's not a crossover. It's just like, again, separate stories. And again, this one is not a crossover, folks. It's not a crossover. And I can say that because they actually have it in the description. So it's not a crossover. It's just separate stories. The cover is a lie, sadly. The only good thing about this right now is the cover. It's great, but it doesn't fit with the comic itself. It's not a crossover. And Jeff Whitman, who of course is editor of Paper Cuts, did post some sneak peeks from the Witcher special. And again, I can't talk about them because I've seen stuff from this, so I can't say anything. Yeah, but I hope you guys check out that comic. It's coming out the 6th and order it. I'm getting the hardcover mainly because I love the cover of the comic. So I want to get the hardcover for it just to have it. Because I have the hardcover for Living Casa Loud. Even though it's my favorite comic, I still love the cover of it. Wanted to have it in nice, perfect condition. So I do want to get the hardcover for that versus the paper cut. I don't want it versus the paper cover. I don't want it to get ruined. So yeah, so make sure you order that October 6th or pre-order it if you have it. Hardcover, paperback, whatever you want to get. So, make sure you order it. And before we jump into the last piece of news, which is the Loud House and Casagrandes YouTube page updates, because I didn't do that last time, because we didn't have a lot of updates. I don't really want to talk about leak spoilers that much, I don't usually talk about those, but sometimes I do. But, yesterday, I was scrolling through Instagram, I am following a bunch of Nickelodeon accounts, like a lot of the official Nickelodeon accounts from different countries, because sometimes they'll post interesting things in like, wallpapers or like, screenshots they do from the Loud House and Casagrandes. So I do want to keep up with that kind of stuff. And I was scrolling through Instagram and I noticed from the Nickelodeon Nickelodeon Italy's account, there was something they posted that I never seen before, and I had to post it like everywhere. It is this little thing, they do that little like challenge where like spot the difference, where they change things up. They have one screenshot be like everything's kind of the same but not really, and then they have another screenshot where everything's different. Well, this screenshot is from an episode that has never been out yet, and it has Lincoln and Ronnie on it. When I saw this, I had a literal heart attack. Like, I thought I was dreaming when I saw this, and I first thought it was fan art. Like, I literally thought it was fan art, because, like, you know how some fan art can be really accurate to show style? But I had to take a look at it, and then I saw what the account was. It was Nickelodeon Italy, and I was like, okay, maybe it's a fan account. And no, it's the official Nickelodeon Italy Instagram. So it's a real shot. It's a real screenshot from an episode, and we don't know what episode it's from. It's not from a recent episode, I can tell you that. If it was, I would have had a full-on 5-hour rant about that on that episode of my show. No, this is not from a recent episode. This is from an upcoming episode, and we don't know what episode it's from. I tried to check the Nickelodeon Italy's like schedule to see if the Casagrandes was airing at any time on their schedule to see what episode it was gonna be from, because clearly this is a sneak peek that has to be from an episode that's airing during that time, but they don't let you see the schedule that well. They didn't show any Loud House on their schedule, so or Casagrandes, so I couldn't figure it out, but apparently this is from an upcoming episode, and from one episode I have no idea, but from what I can, investigate, using my little thinking cap here, my little detective skills, it is from a Casagrande episode, mainly because it is Ronnie who's holding the phone. That is her phone. It's purple. That is her phone in the show, and she is holding it. Those are her hands. So she is holding the phone and she is talking to Lincoln, and again, it is probably from an upcoming Casagrande episode. From what episode, I have no idea. I cannot tell you what episode it's from. Because Ronnie seems to be outside, because there is a bush behind her, so clearly she's outside, or she could be talking to him, like, when she's walking around the building, because in the Casagrande apartment building, there are a bunch of, like, bushes around, like, little mini trees around, like, the stairways and stuff, so that could be a thing, too, but I have no idea what episode this is from. Someone had a great prediction that it could be from the chicken episode, the ghost chicken episode, and maybe Ronnie is trying to call for like advice on the haunted chicken, but I don't think that's gonna be happening. I don't want to make any predictions on this until we find out when or where exactly this episode is from, because clearly it is a screenshot from the show. I will put a link to this screenshot in the description, but yeah, it is from Nickelodeon Italy. And it's legit. Like, it's not fan art. It's not fake. This is a real screenshot from the show. And clearly it's from an episode that is not aired yet. It could be from those season 2 episodes. It could be from it could be from the last season 1 episodes. It could be from Cursed. I have no idea. Or it could be from an episode we don't even know about yet. So I have no idea. But apparently, and I can say this now, as I did the last time that Lincoln was announced at the Casagrandes, Lincoln is coming back to the Casagrandes! Woo! Finally, my prayers have been answered. I've been waiting for Lincoln's second cameo. Oh my god, finally, lighting those candles took a lot of work. That's what I'm telling you, kids. You light all those candles, your dream can finally come true. Now I can stop complaining that Lori's gotten 2 cameos at the Casagrandes, because Lincoln is finally getting a second cameo. I mean, if it's in season 2, then that means Lincoln only had 1 cameo in season 1, but I don't care. It's a win for me. It's a win for us Ronnie Kid fans. We win today, but I don't want to celebrate it yet until we actually find out what episode this is from, or, like, if we get, like, if it's from like an episode about them. I don't want to say that. I don't want to believe it's an episode about them because some people are saying it's a Ronnie episode. No, it's not. It's definitely just gonna be a Lincoln cameo in a random episode, but I have no idea what episode. I think it's just gonna be what Lori was in Bird Is Flown, where she just talks to Bobby for like 2 scenes and then leaves. It's gonna be like that because clearly it's a phone chat with them, so it's probably just gonna be in a random episode. Again, I have no idea what episode. I think it could be these next episodes just because it came out so recently, but I have no idea. I literally don't have no idea what episode this is from. But I'm so excited because again we're getting Ronnie content, even if it's like the tiniest little crumb. I'm like a little mouse, just like gobble up that tasty Ronnie content. We haven't got it since May, so I will eat it up like a mouse. So yeah, I mean, if it is from any of these recent episodes that are coming up, Nickelodeon is going to milk that. They are going to give us a sneak peek of this entire scene with them because they want us to see this scene. Because like when Don't You Forget About Me, that episode was leaked in the UK, but if it wasn't leaked in the UK and we would have gotten a sneak peek, they showed that entire moment of when Carlos and Ronnie showed up at Fairway in their little cameo there. So clearly, again, if this is from an upcoming episode, they're going to show a sneak peek of this entire scene. And I'm going to eat it up. I'm going to be like screaming. I'm going to be so excited. I'm going to be like, like running around the room like I was when Horoscope came out and we got that sneak peek with Horoscope. I was like screaming my lungs out, you know what I mean? So like once we do find out what episode this is from, I'm going to like celebrate it and just be so happy, But again, no idea what episodes it's from. I'll link it in the description, but again, it is official. It's an official screenshot from the show, and it was released in Nickelodeon Italy, so again, no idea what episodes it's from, but hopefully it is an upcoming episode. And finally, the last piece of news for the Loud House and the Casagrandes is, of course, YouTube updates for the Loud House and the Casagrandes YouTube page. Before I say that, I actually do want to highlight the How to Draw series has been going on. I keep forgetting to do those. We did have one released yesterday on How to Draw Stella, which is really cool because they actually, gave Stella some validation. That was pretty nice to see that. Maybe we'll get more of the friends being drawn in the How to Draw series, so it was pretty cool they actually include Stella in that. But going to the YouTube page, we have a clip from The Boss Maybe. Lenny has to babysit, which is cool. Then they have The Loud House as a video game, which was kind of like a neat thing. They showed how to show a little way of the show being changed into a video game with Ace Savvy. That was pretty cool. They used a clip from Pulp Friction, which is neat. Then they had Wacky Loud House Music Remix, which I didn't watch, but I know what they're like. They had a thing like this before, where it was just weird remixes with the Loud House theme song. So that's pretty neat. Then we had Lincoln Tricks Pop Pop, a clip from Cover Girl, which is a pretty cool episode. Then we had the Loud House Pumpkin Carving Interactive Guide, which was really neat. And it was also nice they still include Lori in there, because again, Lori, she's at college now, but it's nice they still include her there, and of course, Bobby, because lobby validation. And finally, today we had Anytime Someone Says Pizza Speeds Up, a clip from the Casagrandes Flea Market, the Lori and Bobby episode, of course. So that was, they've been doing those speed up every time someone says something, it speeds up videos, which are pretty hilarious. So it's cool they still include those. So yes, that is all the recent news this week for the Loud House and the Casagrandes. So don't forget, we are getting brand new episodes of the Casagrandes, which is the season 2 premiere of the Casagrandes and the Loud House Coasted Special. So before we say we'll see you next time, I do want to talk about my next guest is coming out of the show, a returning guest on the show, Saran of the CasaLoud Chill Out Sessions, which I've been collaborating with for those Casa Live sessions, and of course I've had him on my show twice already. I want him back on again for the Casagrandes Season 2 premiere and to talk about Ghosted, because we're going to be talking about both on the show, and to also highlight Season 1 of the Casagrandes, and we'll talk about how Season 1 has went and what some of the highlights were for Season 1, and if we did think that Season 1 lived up to the expectations and, live up and if we thought that season 1 lived up to the hype and expectations of the Casagrandes spin-off show as season 2 premieres, and hopefully it gets better and better when it comes to the Casagrandes. So yes, Soren will be back on for next week's episodes, which of course are Ghosted and the season 2 premiere of the Casagrandes. I still haven't decided who I want on for the 16th. I'm still deciding that. I have a spot there. I'm trying to think of who wants to come on, because, who wants to come on to talk about a Flip and Lisa episode and a Bobby Cat episode? I was going to ask Nino to come up with a Bobby Cat episode, but, he already told me that maybe he doesn't want to come on just because of, being angry and stuff. Nino, I'm sure it'll be fine. But yeah, I'll decide that next week to see who will be on for the 16th. But yes, for this week, for the 9th, I will have Saran on talking about the Ghosted special and the Casagrandes season 2, so don't miss that. So yes, if you have any questions about the podcast or want to discuss the podcast with me, you can contact me over at XStudyClips on Twitter or at the podcast's Twitter, CasaLoud Chats. And we'll see you all next time for some spooky episodes on CasaLoud Chats.